Hey guys, so today I'm going to be teaching you how I made these Cakesicles. These were very delicious and super easy to make and a great way to use leftover cake. So without further ado, let's get on with the video. Okay, so the first thing you want to start off by doing is using some cake scraps and mushing them into very fine crumbs. Now I just want to get some buttercream, and I didn't have any leftovers, so I just bought some from the store. Otherwise, I would just use, some I already made, but I didn't want to make any specifically for this recipe, only to use a small amount of it. So I just bought some, but then you just want to mix it in, and you want to do this with your hands. I used a spoon first, but you're definitely going to need your hands for this. And you just want to mix it all together thoroughly until you don't see any whites and it forms together kind of like a dough. Then I just used 2 small plastic containers to use for melting my chocolate, and I used the Wilton brand. I used this pale pink color and this very pretty yellow, and I just put this in the microwave for a couple seconds till everything was nice and melted. Then you want to spoon in your chocolate into your molds, and I got these from Amazon. I will link them in the description below. If you guys plan on making this recipe, you guys can buy it from where I got it from. But yeah, you just want to add your chocolate to your molds, and you want to move the chocolate around the mold so it covers pretty much every surface. And obviously just doing this isn't going to get everything covered, so I would recommend going back in with maybe a paintbrush or some type of small tool to help get all the sides and crevices covered with the chocolate.
How'd I never get a copyright claim again?
Ever since the day that you went away, you've been sending flowers to me, flowers today, instead of sending flowers, come back to me, and hold me in your arms again.
Then you want to push in your popsicle sticks into the molds and then put these in the freezer to set completely before we add in the cake. Once my chocolate has completely set, I then added in my cake, and you want to push this all the way down so every single piece is covered and that is completely in the back of the stick and in front of it and everything like that. Also, a tip is to not put as much of the cake inside of the molds, and what I mean by that is don't fill it all the way to the top, because if you leave a little gap, that will help you have a smoother back for the cake popsicles. Because we're going to add obviously more chocolate on the back to cover it completely, and if you pull it all the way to the top like I did with these ones, it won't be as smooth. It will be harder to get a smoother surface in the back, whereas if you leave a bit of a gap, it will be a lot easier to get more of a smoother surface. You guys will see the difference between when I did do that and when I didn't. Then I added all my chocolate to the back of these and kind of tried to smooth it out a little bit. And I was gonna wait until it was kind of, melted, but not melted, because you can still work with it. But I waited too long and they completely hardened. But for my next batch I did, turned out a lot better.
Chilling on the clouds.
So yeah, as you can see here, I waited way too long and I cannot get it to be smooth because the chocolate was completely hardened at this point. So yeah. And this is a batch where I learned from my mistakes from the yellow ones, so these ones turned out a lot better. And make sure you really get into the sides, because my yellow ones, the sides were not completely covered. So like I said, get a brush or some type of small tool. I just used the stick that I use for the Cakesicles, and added extra chocolate to the sides, so you know it wouldn't be like a thin and see-through. And even once the chocolate hardened, you can always go back to and add more chocolate to it. So yeah, once you've done that, once your chocolate has completely hardened, you want to add in your cake and do the same thing as the last ones. But like I said, these ones I did not fill it all the way to the top, so when I get to the chocolate part on the back, it's a lot easier to get smoother surface.
Chillin' on the clouds.
And these are the yellow ones. The first batch I did, you can tell it's a lot of extra chocolate in the back and on the sides, and the size of the Cakesicle is thin and you can literally see the chocolate. So this was my bad batch, but I still wanted to show you guys so you can see the difference and what a difference those small little steps make. And as you can see here, this is the perfect texture you want the chocolate, so you can make it in the back. It's basically kind of in the middle between becoming hardened and still being melted. This is the perfect texture to try to get, you know, the back of the cake mold as smooth as possible. as you can tell, these ones turned out a lot better. Obviously the back isn't pretty, but that's not what we're really focusing on. But you know, it's a lot smoother and the sides are not see-through, so yeah, those turned out a lot better. But then I took some more melted chocolate in a piping bag and I did some little swirly designs on them and added some sprinkles and stuff like that. Pretty simplistic, but still very cute and easy to do. And these were my finished Cakesicles. In the end, I really liked the way they turned out, and obviously they taste very delicious. It's literally cake, icing, and chocolate, so you really can't go wrong with that. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and it was informative for you guys. You guys know what not to do and what to do to help you create, you know, a nice looking Cakesicle. But yeah, make sure you guys give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and TikTok in the description, and I'll see you guys next week with a new video. Bye guys.